I will die on the hill that nothing beats a book with short chapters. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michaela, the microphone is out and I am sat down, which means that this is serious business. In today's video, we are going to be speaking about books with short chapters, because something about me is I love a book with a short chapter. I get through them so much more quicker. I don't know what the psychology is behind it. Actually, I do. It's because I'm constantly like, all right, fine, one more chapter. Fine, one more chapter. Before you know it, I finished the book. So today I'm going to tell you some of my favourite books that have short chapters, specifically thriller books with short chapters. So let's just get straight into it. I'd love it so much if you hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. I've said that already. The first book I want to speak to you about is a Marmite book. It is a Marmite book, and I'm warning you right now that you're either going to love this book or you're going to absolutely hate it. There's going to be no in between. It's going to be a 1-star or a 5-star. And that is The Last Passenger by Will Dean. Whenever I speak about this book, my comment section is divided. It is either people saying, oh my God, yes, loved it, or other people being like,
this was so stupid. I hated it.
So this book is actually quite hard to speak about. It's really hard to speak about because there is only so much information I can tell you before we go into spoiler territory, because the blurb of this book gives nothing away. And I mean nothing. But for a good reason, because my reaction when I read this book, I'm constantly chasing that feeling in books. I'm chasing that feeling all the time. And this book gave it to me. Essentially, we meet our main character, who is called Kaz. Kaz is on her dream cruise holiday. She's gone on a dream cruise ship with her fella, and they are ready to have loads of cocktails, be in the sun, and yeah, I'm setting the vibes for you, all right? They enjoy the first night on the cruise ship. They have a great time and they go to bed. And Kaz wakes up the next day and she is alone on the cruise ship. And I mean, she is alone. There is nobody else on the cruise ship. Her fella's gone missing. The pilot, the sailor, not the pilot, the sailor is gone. Everyone is gone. So what's bloody happened? What's happened? Where's everyone gone? And essentially, you will not guess where this book goes. You won't. If you do, I will give you money. I will give you money. I read this book so quickly. I think it's got over 100 chapters. I'm going to put on the screen how many pages each book has got and how many chapters are in it, just to give you an idea how short the chapters actually are, And I just remember needing to know what happened. When I originally read this book, I gave it 4.5 stars. I didn't give it 5 stars because the ending pissed me off. I was like, no, come on, what? Stop. And now I've sat on it, it's one of those books where I'm yeah, do you know what? It was actually all right. But at the time, it made me mad. So I gave it 4.5 stars. I would love to know if you've already read this book, and what you thought of it. Because yeah, nobody ever seems to agree with each other. You've been warned, and come back and tell me what you thought of it. Miss Sharon Bolton is the queen of short chapters. She absolutely loves a short chapter, and I love her for it. And The Pact is one of my favourite books. I have spoken about this book a few times on my YouTube channel, and a few of you have said you've picked it up because of me, and that, honestly, there's no better feeling. It makes me so happy. So the book starts out and we meet a group of friends who have just broke up for their summer break. They're all in college together and they're just about to do their A-levels. And to entertain themselves, they've started doing some stupid pranks. They're doing daredevil pranks and they're getting more and more dangerous. One day, one of those pranks go wrong and 3 people end up dead. So obviously they're all oh my God, what are we going to do? Literally, what are we going to do? When one of the group, Megan, stands up and is do you know what, guys? I'll be the hero. I'm the savior. I will take the fall for this and I'll go to prison. But on the condition that when I get out of prison, each one of you is going to owe me a favor. So obviously they're yeah, sure, crack on. You get off to prison and we'll see you in 20 years. Anyway, it's now 20 years later. Megan's out of prison and she's ready to collect on those promises. The thing is though, 20 years is a long time and the group of friends kind of forgot about it. They thought that they would never have to actually do what she wanted. And yeah, what she wants is a bit mental. Honestly, this is just such a good, true twisty thriller. Something Sharon Bolton does so good, and I absolutely need to read more of her books. I Died on a Tuesday by Jane Corrie. This is one I never see anybody speaking about, like literally nobody. I got this recommendation of one of my followers on Book Talk, whose name is Rosie, and she was like, Michaela, you need to read this. And I was like, all right, fine. This is a bit of a chunky book, but it has got like those short chapters. So to me, I don't mind it when a book's a bit long. You know, I'm forever saying that like a thriller book doesn't need to be more than 350 pages. I want to say that this has got like over 400, but I'm sure it's got like over 100 chapters as well. So in this book, we get the point of views of three people. The first point of view we get is an 18-year-old girl named Janie who is off to start a new life, and she's the victim. The next point of view we get is the criminal, who's a rock star. Like, listen, when I heard that, I thought, oh, come on, like, how cheesy is that? And I'm gonna be real with you, it is a bit cheesy, but like, it didn't take away from the story, you know. Anyway, he's the criminal, and he's harboring a very, very dark secret. Then the third point of view is of a witness support officer named Vanessa, who's like trying to right her wrongs. So like, how are all of these people tied together? That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know going into this book. Don't let the rock star thing put you off. Because I mean, like, that could be interchangeable. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was fine. Like, yeah. This is actually the only book I've read from Jane Corrie. So I would love to know, like, if you've got any more recommendations, like, of ones that you think I should read. Have you read any? Yeah, like I said, this is a bit of like an underrated one. I never really see people talking about it. So if you're going to take a recommendation and you want one that's like not really spoken about, I love talking about books that aren't like widely spoken about. So hopefully like you get a few from this video that you haven't heard of. And if you do go and pick any up, let me know. I would love to know. I've spoken about Claire Douglas a few times on my booktube channel, like, because I just think, I always say she's the queen of domestic thrillers, but I don't think I've ever spoken about The Woman Who Lies, which I think may be my favourite book from her. So in this book, we're following a girl called Amelia. Amelia is a wife, she's a mother, and she's also a best-selling crime author. Like, we're getting that book within a book trope that I always say I absolutely love, like when books are like brought into books. So Amelia's in the midst of writing her 10th novel. She's writing like a crime detective series, and she's writing her 10th book when like weird things start happening. Like weird things that happen in her books start happening to her in real life. At first, she's like, oh, this is a bit of a coincidence, like it doesn't mean anything, until somebody dies in exactly the same way as they died in her book, and she's thinking, oh, maybe it's not a coincidence, actually. Like, just know going into Claire Douglas's books that, like, they're not, like, the most shocking books you're ever gonna read, but, like, you're gonna have a good time. They always have, like, a good twist. I always just wish, like, she would just go, like, that little bit further, but to me, she's, like, a solid, reliable domestic thriller author. Yeah, go pick this book up. I've had a few comments, actually, saying, like, Claire Douglas's books aren't easily accessible overseas, and I'm always shouting about Blackwell's. I'm not like affiliated with them in any way, but Blackwell's is a bookstore that's in the UK, and they do free shipping to the US. I know definitely. I'm not sure about anywhere else. So like, if there's any books that you're ever struggling to get overseas, try Blackwell's. It wouldn't be a short chapter video without speaking about John Mars, would it? John Mars is the king of short chapters and also one of my favourite thriller authors. To be honest with you, you could pick up any of his books and like you wouldn't like be steered wrong. All of them have those like punchy, sharp chapters. And the thing is, he just leaves every chapter on a cliffhanger. So like you have to keep on reading. Honestly, he is the king of short chapters and the master of cliffhangers. Like I'm his biggest fan. The one I want to speak to you about today though is his newest release, and that is called You Killed Me First. Now this one starts out with a bang, no pun intended, because it starts out on bonfire night. It starts out on bonfire night and somebody is inside a bonfire while it's on fire. We then rewind time and go back 11 months where we're following three people who all live on this like really posh, like nice street. And they're all friends, but like secretly hating each other. It's given a bit of like Desperate Housewife vibes, you know? I always say this is like John Mars's least serious book. Like, a lot of his books are known for being really dark, where this one was so much fun. Like, and I never thought those words would come out of my mouth, but like, yeah, it was a really fun thriller. It's given like catty, like drama, school mum drama, a bit of rich people drama. So yeah, we're following these three friends as they like are going at each other. But and we're leading up to then, like, it was in that bonfire. This is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I mean, you've got no excuse. The Echo Man by Sam Holland is probably one of the darkest thriller books I've ever read. This should have absolutely been included in like the darkest thriller books I've ever read. When I do a part 2, spoiler, this is going in it because I can't believe I forgot about it. So this is a police procedural thriller book. Something about me is I absolutely eat up a police procedural thriller. I absolutely love it. And in this, we're following some detectives as they're trying to catch a serial killer who is recreating like true crime serial killers, like people from like actually true crime. So like we're talking Jeffrey Dahmer, the Yorkshire Ripper, like he's recreating their crimes in the Echo Man. So the police can't catch him because they're like, he's literally got no like motive. His MO is changing every single time. Who the bloody hell is doing this? It's graphic, it's gruesome, it's dark. I don't know what to tell you. If you like a dark police procedural thriller book, this is for you. This is also part of a series, so they only follow the same like police detective, so they can all be read as standalones, but this is number 1. The second one is called The 20, the third one's called The Puppet Master, and I think the fourth one is coming out like very soon. If you like your thriller books dark, but like also with a bit of humour, you will love Sweet Pea by CJ Scoose. This is another long one. This is on the longer side, but again, those short chapters like make it feel like a lot shorter than what it is. And this made me laugh so many times, but at the same time, it's extremely dark. Because we follow our main character, Rhiannon. Rhiannon looks like your girl next door. Literally, she looks like she wouldn't hurt a fly. But little does everyone know that Rhiannon is a psychopath, and any person that pisses her off, she will put them on her kill list and she will off them. And I'm talking like silly things, like if somebody cuts her up on like her way to work, she's like, right, that's it, I'm coming for you. But like, you know, because she doesn't look like a serial killer, like nobody suspects her. Like, it's always the quiet ones, isn't it? It's always the quiet ones. This did get adapted actually into a TV show, but it kind of annoyed me because in the book, the main character is Welsh. I am Welsh. And then in the TV series, like they made it English. And I'm like, why did you do that? Why? This is part of a series, but you do have to read them in order. I haven't, and I don't think I will. Like, I'm satisfied at the end of book 1. I don't think that there was like a need for the series to carry on. I feel like some authors, like if they're books are popular, they then just turn them into series when they never intended to be. So yeah, I'm not really interested in carrying on with the series, but I did really enjoy book 1. Ira and I by MJ Arledge. We read this for mine and Emma's in-person book club, and I think it was the most well-received book that we've ever read. Like, normally everybody is divided on their opinions. Like, that's what makes book clubs so fun anyway, you know? But like this one, I feel like we all loved it. So I just want to clarify that this is a fictional book. I feel like the blurb makes it sound like it's like non-fiction, but it's not, it's fictional. Essentially, there are 9 criminals in the UK whose crimes are so bad that when they got released from prison, they had to be given new identities for their safety. There's 9 of them. But what happens if somebody leaks their identities? What happens if somebody's like, nope, I found out who they are. They don't deserve a new identity. And yeah, I'm going to tell everyone who they really are. Obviously, then you've got all the vigilantes who like want to go out and like get these people for what they've done. And then we've got the probation officer who's like trying to protect these people who like, do these people deserve like a new life? Are they actually changed? Have they served their time in prison? I feel like it's like got a bit of that moral dilemma. Like, what would happen if that did happen in real life? You know, I feel like there would be uproar. So essentially, this book, we're following these people as their like new identities have been outed and people are out to get them. This is actually the only book I've read from MJ Arledge, but I have got another one on my TBR this month, which is called, what's it called? Eeny Meeny. It's the start of his new series. It's the start of a series, not a new series. And I'm really excited to read it because, again, that one's got short chapters. So I'll let you know what I think of that at the end of the month. Will I ever stop talking about In the Blink of an Eye by Joe Callahan? Will I ever stop talking about this book? I fear I will not, because I made the mistake of waiting so long to read this series. Like, I want to say it's been on my radar for like 2 years, and I don't want you to make that same mistake. Like I said, I love a police procedural. they are my favorite type of thrillers to read, and this one is so good, but because it's so different, like there's just got that little bit of spice added to it, because in this we are following a police detective. Her name is Kat Locke, and she has just been given an AI police detective to work alongside her. His name is Locke, and he's like literally in her watch. So she's got like an Apple Watch, and like he's a hologram that comes out of it. And she is piloting him to be like the world's first like AI police detective. And the thinking behind having this is essentially like police officers, when they are solving crimes, like you automatically have a prejudice against certain groups of people. Like that's so when they are investigating crimes, they could be looking at someone else based on their own prejudices, whereas an AI doesn't have that. They look at the data and they analyze it based on actual facts. And I just think it's such interesting discussions, like with like how prevalent AI is becoming in our world, and like the way it's being incorporated into workforces. How long is it until actually something like this is brought in and we get to see the good and the bad of it, you know? Like it's not all like good. It's not singing AI's praises, like absolutely not. This is part of a series. I gave In the Blink of an Eye 4 stars or 4.5 stars, but I gave Leave No Trace, which is the second book, 5 stars. So I do think you should read the series in order though. And then the third book is also on my TBR this month, which is called Human Remains. So I can't shout about this book enough. Please go read it. I'm so bloody passionate about it, you know? Redemption by Jack Jordan. I am Jack Jordan's biggest fan. He is the most lovely guy like you will ever meet. I love him. And he is the king of moral dilemmas. Like he has this thing in his books where like they all surround moral dilemmas. So like Do No Harm is about a brain surgeon who receives like a note and says like you have to kill the person that's on your operating table or I'm going to take your kid. So I don't want to speak about that book. I'm just giving you like a bit of an insight. I want to talk to you about Redemption by Jack Jordan. So in this book, we follow two parents, and sadly, their son was killed in a hit and run accident. The person that was convicted of this went to jail. They have served their time and they are now out. But Evelyn, who is the mum, is not happy with this. She doesn't think he served long enough for killing their little boy. So she's out for blood. She is literally out for blood. But the dad isn't on board with it. He's like, I need to stop her. Like she's getting a bit out of control. So essentially, it's a bit of a cat and mouse chase through a desert as well, just to add like more stakes to it. It's like through a desert, and it is just one of the most like heart-wrenching, fast-paced thrillers, and like you don't know like whose side to be on. You have got like that moral dilemma element of it. Like you sympathize with the mother and the father obviously, but then you also get the point of view of the guy that did go to prison for killing this little boy. The writing was just incredible. Like you could feel like, I feel like you could really feel like the character's pain, and yeah, it was gut-wrenching at times. It really was. Go read this book. I feel like Jack Jordan doesn't get the love he deserves. Please go read this book. I want to say this is another one that's like not widely available overseas either. So it's probably like one you could get off Blackwell's. I don't know why it is, guys. I've had a few people say it about books I speak about, and I think it's because I read quite a lot of British authors, and I'm not sure if they have like US publishers, you know. I don't know how it works. Right, listen, when I did my worst books like I've ever read video, I spoke about, what the bloody hell was it called? I've literally like scrubbed it from my brain. Dark Corners by Megan Goldin. And I was like, oh, I don't think there's like many books I've actually liked from there apart from The Night Swim. I lied to you. I've read Stay Awake and I really enjoyed that one. This is 50 First Dates as a thriller book. That's what it is. Because essentially the book starts out and we meet our main character who has woken up in the back of a taxi. And she's like, firstly, what am I doing here? Where am I going? And then on her arm, she's got Stay Awake written. And she's like, why? Oh, she's also got a knife in her hand. I feel like that's a key like point of information. I forgot that. She's got a knife in her hands and it says Stay Awake like on her arm. And essentially, Liv is in a time loop. She is in a complete time loop situation, and she has been for the last 2 years. Every time she goes to sleep, she wakes up and she's forgotten everything from the day before. So, like, why? What is she running from? Like, why has she got this knife? And the book is finding that out. And I do love a good old amnesia plot. I really do. Do you know what, though? I bloody hate the cover of it. I'll put the UK cover on the screen, and I'll put the US one. I mean, I don't really like either, but like the UK one is so garish and like in your face. I really don't like it at all. Don't judge a book by its cover, because this is a really good book. So they are all fast-paced thriller books with really short chapters that you will just be able to fly through. I hope you found some new recommendations. And please, like I said, let me know if you read any. I would love, love, love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you next time.